How you doing, everyone? It is the Get Loud podcast presented by SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Jinx and special guest, the voice of the Commanders.
The
Bram
voice himself.
Weinstein.
There he is. There he is.
Hi,
Round of
everyone.
applause.
Why am I sitting in the middle? That's what I want to know.
Well, you know what? The special
I don't trust
part,
it.
No. The special part is always put in the middle. You put me and Jinx on
Special
the
guest.
outside. You are the guest here.
It's more like I'm not going to see what's coming.
No.
That's what it is.
You
I
know
what
what's coming. When
I
you
know what
signed
your show
up,
is. You think I'm walking in here thinking I'm doing a normal interview
That's
today?
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You knew
come
what
on.
you was walking into, bro.
Of course.
It's the special guest burger.
Yes.
We're the buns. Bram's the meat.
Yes, he is. What's wrong with that, Bram?
All right.
Wrong sandwich with 3 dudes, right?
45 seconds in, I'm already uncomfortable.
Yes, I like it. Congratulations, you made it to Get Loud.
Bram's face is immediate regret. Like immediate.
Like, why did I say yes
I was
to
supposed to do 20 minutes. I agreed
Yeah.
to a full hour. What's going on here?
this? It's going to happen, man. This show is going to take you places you've never been before, like Star Trek.
Call us on the home phone. 703-726-7419. That's 703-726-7419. We have a couple voicemails at the end of the show. Someone's talking about a Super Bowl. I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
I think Bram is shocked that we got a house phone line. Like, Bram, we have a house phone line that they can leave messages for us.
What is that? What is this, 1983? What the
Yes.
house phone line?
Yes. We have a house phone line.
I call what?
And they leave us voice messages.
Uh-huh.
And then we repeat the voice messages on the show. We had one dude traveling all through the United States. We had to be like, where's this dude at? And he'll call us, hey, guys, I'm in Michigan.
Oh.
So we got guys that leave the voicemail. People that's preferably over 40 know how to leave a voicemail.
That's right.
Yes, we do.
What
use
young person knows what a voicemail is?
My kids don't know anything. Like, I do this trivia with my kids. What is this? And I showed my kids.
Is that the name of the game? What is this?
What is this? Could you explain this to me? I showed them my house phone.
I don't trust you running that game.
Why not?
Because I don't know what you're going to show them.
No,
to
I'm
know
going to
what
show
is
them
this.
everything. I showed them a house phone. My kids were like, radiator? Maybe? They had no clue. And I was like, you know what? I can't get mad because we are the generation that didn't have cell phones. We are the generation that had 12 channels. We are the generation that at 12 o'clock, the TV went off and the American flag floated for the rest of the night.
That's true.
We are the generation that goes from no technology to full technology. So we are the one.
I saw a bit by a comedian who put a rotary phone up on the stage and asked people to come up and say, do you know how to use this? They
did.
couldn't do it. Like, they couldn't dial the numbers.
That's wild.
Why would they? Like, that's a
Right.
foreign
Yeah.
machine to
Yeah.
you. Like,
Right.
you looking at it, like, I watch my kids
Yeah.
look at stuff, and I be like, why do they have this look on their face?
Right.
And then I think to myself, they've never seen this. So that's why in the summertime, I love to send my kids to Mississippi so they can live with my family and have nothing. Like, literally, I get a call like 24 hours later, hey, there's no air conditioner in here. Fine. That's how I grew up. You will be fine.
Well, one thing that transcends generations, Smoot.
Yeah.
Football. We've always had football.
It always does.
This weekend, preseason game, Commanders, Jets. Bram's going to be calling the game, obviously. You
Yep.
guys will be all hands on deck ready for this game. What are some general expectations? Because, look, preseason is preseason, but what are some things you want to see as far as maybe guys stepping up or something that might make you happy to see, hey, this particular position group is improving, whatever that may be?
Well, what I want is the baseline.
Okay.
Show me what this team is. Like, it's just the preseason, right? So we're going to see the middle of the roster. We ain't going to see the top of the roster. You're going to see the middle of the roster and the bottom of the roster. And you only good as the 53rd person on the roster. So what we're going to see is the baseline. And what they did, this coaching staff and this front office did, they took the middle of this roster from last year and they gutted it.
Yeah.
All right? And they brought the floor up. Forget the ceiling. They brought the floor up. So what I want to do is I want to see guys go out there and do their job. I don't need you to score 10 touchdowns. I just need you to look like a football team. I need you to look like a well-coached group of guys. That's what I want to see. And you can only tell if the group is well-coached by how's the third screen guy doing. How's the second screen guy doing? That's the test of how you being coached.
There's a couple things here.
Okay.
One, I think the joint practice is equally as important, if not more important, than the game itself.
It is more important.
Yes.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. And I don't think you could have picked a better opponent for the joint practice.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons. Like, if we can all sit here and agree that a couple of the units that are in question are the offensive line and the cornerbacks. Think about who they're practicing against this weekend.
Yeah.
You have one of the best fronts in football with the Jets. You're going to get them in a controlled environment. You're going to find out. We've been playing musical chairs with our offensive line for 2 weeks. We're going to find out what's what when Quinnen Williams lines up over Allegretti or Biotish, or we're going to get their rush ends against our tackles, and we don't know who our tackles are yet.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, we're not going to get Aaron Rodgers in the game on Saturday, but we are going to get him in that practice on Thursday.
Yeah.
We're going to get him, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams. We're going to find out about our corners in controlled environments. They could not have planned out a better team to have a joint practice with. I know they didn't plan it that way, but if you think about what we have questions about and what they bring to the table, it's a great matchup for this team.
Why do we have questions about the DBs and the offensive line when I don't believe in bad kids? I believe in bad parents. All right? We watched them have bad parents last year. They wasn't coached well. They was put out there and say survive. And now we want to say what we do and what we don't have. We've upgraded at the center position. We've upgraded at the guard position. Sam Cosmi is one of the best guards in football. We just drafted Brandon. Why does this have to be a weakness? Because it's the unknown. Like, I think we look at unknowns as weaknesses. I don't look at it. I don't look at this defensive back.
Okay, let me put it to you this way.
Yeah.
If this is a reset for these guys,
Yeah.
right? Let's say it's a rookie season in theory.
Yeah.
Then wouldn't it make sense that you're still going to see some growing pains because it's a new defense, because it's new roles? Or do you expect, okay, we'll see some growth from last year, or could it be a reset in some
No,
ways?
we're gonna see more growth because of the middle of the defense. All right, let's be honest. The defensive line is what it is.
Yeah.
They are intact. But when you change the linebacker position, you actually change the back end also. Like, not only did you bring in Bobby Wagner, the yellow jacket, the guy, and it just reminds me so much of when Fletch came. Like, when Fletch came, everything kind of changed because we don't have to question who the leader is. I don't have to question, is the information going to get back to my defensive backfield? I don't have to question any of this. And then look at Witt's history. Look at Quinn's history when it comes to defensive backs. This is a defensive back-friendly defense, all right? Not only did he have, all right, Diggs went, 9 interceptions? Then a year later, Bland go 11? All right, that's no coincidence. All right, so somebody in our defensive backfield is going to have one of those years because this defense is designed for that. This defense protects them. I have played in defenses, Greg Williams, that is a defensive back friendly. Then I played in guys that wasn't defensive back friendly. So now it's more survival than it is play. Like, I don't want to judge these guys without them having a equal chance to show me who they are.
It's only been a couple weeks, right? And we're living in this bubble because we're watching them every day.
Sure.
And I'm optimistic, right? I want to be optimistic. But I think, to your point, like when I watch them practice, what I see up the middle between the hash marks is exponentially better, at least on paper and in general in personnel, than what they had. The upgrade at the linebacker position cannot be overstated.
Yeah.
Like, it is a strength when it was a weakness.
Yep.
The safeties are deep now. I don't know how they're going to utilize Quan Martin and Jeremy Chin, and they don't want to tell me because I think they're going to surprise some people with the way that they utilize both of them.
Yep.
We've got good players like Derek Forrest that are fighting for time
Bubble.
because they're deep at this position, and we know what the middle of our defensive line is. And if Johnny Newton is going to be what they think he's going to be, which might be the best defensive tackle off the board this year, look up the middle at what you see. The questions are on the edges, though. Can they get a consistent pass rush? Because
think they can.
yes, Dallas had a great defense. Do we have Micah Parsons on this team? I don't know.
Only one,
right?
one team has Micah
Right.
Parsons. Yeah.
And then the corners are in question as well. And I'm with you, and I want to be optimistic. And let's give Forbes a redo here. And St. Jude's is a good corner. I think they have some very good veterans now behind them, so they're deep in this spot. But do they have a number one that can match up with the CeeDee Lambs and the A.J. Browns of the world? And that's what we need to see. And that's why I think this week's a big deal with Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson and people like that.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. These things we don't know. Like the unknown, we don't know. But what I do know is I know this coordinator and I know what type of defenses they run. I know what type of guys we have. And I think everybody forgetting that you do have Frankie Louvu, who's not just going to be a stand-up linebacker. You do have Jamin Davis that's going to be rushing the passer. I think they will have enough speed and enough personnel to manufacture a pass rush. But if you look at the teams in the NFL with great linebacking cores, they are probably the top teams in the league. You look at the Ravens, had a top linebacking core. You look at the 49ers. You look at these teams, and you say, why are they so good on defense? It's not the front. It's the middle of the defense. It changes everything. I know people don't understand it like I understand it. But when you change the middle of the defense, that means no more running to the outside, no more running to the inside. That means when you pass the ball in short 10-yard, 5-yard increments, these backers will inflict pain. All right, so it stops all of that. And I need people to understand that. When we upgraded this middle of the field, it changed everything on the defense. And the defense, to me, last year, they got put in some bad predicaments. I never looked at this as a bad defense. I looked at it as being called wrong. It's been dictated wrong. But the players, we do have that. Like, and I say this, nobody had a good year on defense last year. Can we all agree on that? Not Payne, not Allen, like nobody. It's never a coincidence when all of us stink. All right?
Right.
Like, it ain't no coincidence. That means it's deeper. That means it's something else going on.
Well, I remember Emmanuel Forbes was saying probably a couple weeks ago at the start of camp, finally I can just react. I don't have to think anymore, to your point. So how much does it help when you have not necessarily a simplified scheme, but a scheme that says do what you do best. You're not out there thinking because you think you're wrong.
Well, first of all, I know what he means. Like, we are creatures of reaction. I'm a DB. I'm a cat. All right? We never can fall. We got to stay on our feet, but we also got to react to whatever that wide receiver does. But if I'm thinking in my head, but I am in cover 4, I might not need to go down here. I'm in this. I'm a hesitate. Any hesitation going to get you beat. What he's saying is what's being taught to me, I'm learning. Like, meaning that I don't have to second guess myself or second guess the situation. I'm soaking this in. They're making it simple, and they're allowing me to play fast. And that's what you want your DBs to do. You want them to play fast because they are reacting, not thinking. Like they say in football, you think long, you think wrong.
They talked openly last year about being confused.
Yeah.
And they talk a lot about this, the coaches set up the rules that you're supposed to follow. They were confused by it. You saw it on the field. And I agree with you. This isn't that they had really bad players. I think they were top to bottom not on the same page. And, like in this league, I think you might agree with this. And more as we, in a cap league like this, the difference between the good teams and the bad teams is so minute.
It's this small.
It's this much, you know. And if you're lucky to have Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen, you have a difference maker. But like everything else, if you look across the board, everybody's got strengths and weaknesses in a cap league, and everybody's close. When you're losing the way this team was losing last year, that is a fundamental problem of what's going on in general, not just the talent itself.
Yes.
And I'm hearing this from them this year that they feel more free to play fast. And Dan Quinn's talking openly about getting them up. I do want to ask you both about one thing that I have found surprising about all of this, and it's another thing that I'm really looking forward to this weekend at the joint practice and at the game. So Dan Quinn talks openly about your friends and family are going to like watching us. We're going to play hard. We're going to play physical. We're going to bring it. Those are the type of things he's saying. I haven't seen them do a full-speed football practice yet in 2 weeks, and the first time they're going to do it is in a joint practice and in a preseason game. And I'm somewhat surprised by that.
Don't be surprised about it. This is the new NFL. This is the way it is. This is how they protect the players. This is what it is. But what I do love is I love inter-team practices. You said it. At the end of the day, we're going to see stuff that they ain't going to show in a preseason game. We're going to see matchups. Like he said, tackle against defensive end, wide receiver against corner, quarterback against sack. We're going to see it all in these practices. And this is what I do know about this team. They'll rather walk through so they understand than go 100% while everybody just unorganized chaos. They understand we're going to protect their legs, we're going to protect the player, but we're going to also we challenging the mental. And that's what I think the best coaches challenge the mental. Every coach I've ever had, from Coach Gibbs, all the best coaches, they like, you know what, physically, that's what got you here. Mentally, what's going to keep you here.
I think it's surprising for sure because that doesn't seem like the norm. But I'll also say, to your point, particularly when you're integrating a brand new coaching staff with a new set of players, the most important thing you can do is get everyone on the same page, make sure everyone knows their assignments. You've got a rookie quarterback as well. We're going to talk about Jayden Daniels. You got to get everyone down on knowing exactly what they're doing, and then you go full bore. Because if you're automatically going full speed early on before you're reacting, you don't really know what's happening, then I think you run the risk of maybe taking a step backwards.
That's what Quinn said the other day, because I asked him about this, because, listen, I've been around you guys forever, right? It is unnatural for you all to not start hitting. Like, you guys want to.
And I know that. We want to reach out and touch people.
You know, after the first week, because pads have been collectively bargained out of training camp in the
Yes.
first week, so you can't hit, right? There's no way around. You're going to get people hurt, so you can't hit. Once the pads go on, though, that's when we think that things are going to change, and it didn't quite yet. But by the middle of the second week, Brian Robinson's kind of lowering his head a little bit.
Yeah.
There was a pop on a kickoff return.
Yeah.
A guy got run over on a kick cover. Like, you could see it bubbling up where the guys are like, let us go.
Yeah.
And I asked Quinn about it, and he said, to your point, we're not ready to do that yet.
Yeah.
We want everybody on the same page, coordinated, and then we're going to take the lid off and unleash it.
Yeah. I love that. Listen, he's saying we don't want chaos. We want organized chaos. And for us to have organized chaos, I have to teach them first. I want my coach to be a teacher. All right, this is chess. Like, the thing about it, when we get out there on Sunday, you just said it, the talent level is almost the same. Who is moving the chess pieces, and where are you placing me, and why? If I know why you placing me right here, I'm prone to be better at my job. And that's what I think they're doing right now. They like, we're going to teach them. We done got time for all this. Let's go out here and beat everybody up. I want to teach them how I want the game to be played, and I think that's what he implemented.
Yeah,
It's
side
like
note, the game's on Saturday. I don't want you to miss it.
Yeah.
Because it's early, too.
But
It's 12 o'clock.
But it's also a
Right.
preseason
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
It's also
yeah.
a preseason game.
That's right.
Let's be honest. It's a preseason game. We waiting for the first game.
That's right.
Like, that's what we're trying to get to.
It's almost like a bull, when a bull gets ready to charge.
Yeah.
Like, just that leg going, like, I'm about to go. And
Yeah.
it's like these players are like, we're ready.
Yeah.
And they're waiting for Dan Quinn to just turn them loose, and then they can go. So that's going to happen soon.
And listen, it's going to happen, obviously. But I want you to think about that opener. I mean, people dismiss this. That was a playoff team a year ago. That's a Todd Bowles defense.
Yeah.
Those guys play hard. If you remember in the playoffs, I know the Eagles were floundering when they beat them. They were one score down to Detroit in the fourth quarter and had the ball, okay? They very easily could have been in the NFC Championship. Baker Mayfield's in a second year there.
Yeah.
They're going to show up.
Yeah.
Like, don't think like that was some kind of fluke with them a year ago. They're going to show up.
Yeah.
So this team's going to need to be ready. in a month.
I don't think the Buccaneers will show up. Are you a believer in what that team?
Yes.
You believe in the Bucs.
I
Because I think the best team in the South is the Falcons. And I ain't a big Kirk guy, but I see what Kirk got around him. I see a 12-win Falcon team easily.
I think they have on paper an amazing amount of talent on offense. I think on defense they're weak. And they're going to have to buy into Raheem Morris is going to do there what Dan Quinn and Joe Witt are going to do here for it to turn that way. And I also think that draft pick thing was so awkward and so weird that it's going to hover over everything. And if Cousins is not great early, they're going to start asking him about when they're going to give this guy the shot. They made things so awkward overnight.
I don't think so. I think they invested in the future. We watched Green Bay do this year after year, and then we're shocked when they never had to go get a quarterback. Green Bay has had 40 consecutive years of Pro Bowl quarterbacking because they draft early. Before the dude is ready to retire, they draft a quarterback. I'm sorry. We all can agree. 8 billion people on this planet. We haven't found 32 quarterbacks in the same year. That's great. 8 billion people. Yes, you heard me. All right? So if I have to put one on the bench and wait till he's ready, wait till my other guy leave, that's fine. I thought the Falcons did a great thing because guess what? You draft a DN right there, that don't make you a win now team. Like, I don't know why everybody think the draft is this instant lottery. We know for a fact half of the first rounders and the second rounders gon' stink. This league is not for everybody. Just because I draft somebody don't mean he's good. Everybody going to wait till midseason to say, is my rookie good or is my rookie bad? But we're going to find out that most of these guys can't play in the NFL. All right, I'm going Falcons win their division. What you think, Jinx? Don't say the Panthers and just be an
No, the
outlier.
Panthers aren't going to win. I tell you who I think is sneaky in that division.
Saints?
Might be the Saints.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
But do you believe in Carr?
I think in that division, he's good enough to win that division also because they rely on their defense, right? That's how the Saints wins game. And also, Derek Carr was very good at the end of last season, right? So he got better as the season went on once he acclimated a little bit to the surroundings there in New Orleans. So that's a winnable division. And also, I think I have a hard time with maybe believing in Baker Mayfield for a second consecutive season.
All right, so you got the Saints, I got Tampa, you got the Falcons.
Yeah.
Boy, that Saints Commanders game in December is going to be big for you.
It sure will.
Yeah.
So, since we're talking about quarterbacks, Jayden Daniels, possibly he's going to play. We don't know if he's going to start or not on
it don't
Saturday.
matter. Yep.
So it won't matter, but quietly, as we've seen, he's sort of snuck in and been the guy taking the reps with that first team.
Yep.
So what have you seen from him during training camp, and what do you hope to see on Saturday?
You know what? I'm more impressed with the person. Like, I just been blown away with the person. Like, to get drafted to the NFL, you got talent. It's something that you do well. And he throws the ball well, he runs well. But usually when we get a number 2 pick, a Heisman Trophy winner, they usually divas. They usually, the team is here and I'm over here. It's usually pitcher and outfield. It's a separation. I haven't seen that with him. I have been blown away with the person so much. I don't care about anything else. I think he's going to have a great career. I don't know how this career starts. Like, he's going to go through his growing pains, and that's what we need to understand. And I need all the fans to understand this. C.J. Stroud is an outlier. Do you understand?
In the
what
biggest
I'm saying?
way.
In the biggest way. Peyton Manning threw 1,000 picks his rookie year. Like, quarterbacks usually don't do well.
Troy Aikman was terrible
Like,
his first year.
Think about, and I know we had that RG3 splash and crazy effect, and people want him to be that. No, it's going to take patience with this. Like my grandma used to say, you either cooking in a crock pot or a microwave. C.J. Stroud is a microwave. Some stuff take a little longer. I want everybody to be patient with how he grows and understand this. Jayden Daniels from game 1 is going to be totally different from Jayden Daniels game 15.
Yeah,
he gonna have some war wounds by then. He gonna be in learn. I can't do this. I can't do that. And that's why I tell people, hold up on that offensive line. We understand that Sam Howell in Seattle is going through the same problems he had here, holding the ball too long. They had a lot to do with most of those sacks. All right, so don't blame this. Now this line has a whole different quarterback who can run himself out of problems, who can run himself out of sacks. That changes everything.
Yeah, I don't know enough at this point to know what does the offense look like. They haven't shown me.
Yeah.
How much of designed runs are going to be part of it, because it has to be part of it. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
How much are they going to rely on him that way? I do here are the markers, right? He comes in here, his decision-making looks great. Okay, he's fast. He's making his mind up quickly. The coaches seem to confirm that's the case. The work ethic that they talked about going into the pre-draft process has seemed to obviously carry over here. He's the first one in the building every day. And to Fred's point, he seems like a very humble guy and someone who is not asking for all this attention. And look at this team. Here's a team that is dying to have a franchise quarterback. I've been waiting for it my whole life, okay? I'm 51. I've been waiting for it my whole life. This team had a glory.
Look a day over 60.
This team had a glory era, and they won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks, and none of them are in the Hall of Fame. Right? We haven't had this person. Right? And this team has gone out of its way to not thrust him out there and say he's it. Buy in. Put him on the cover of things.
He's the reason.
And it doesn't seem like he's asking for anything
He's
like
not.
that. He's not. He comes in here, he's humble. When he's asked questions, he got asked some question his first press conference where he's like, what's it like being a star quarterback? And he goes, I'm not a star quarterback. And the other day I asked him, I said, they said, you're going to know when you're ready. Where are you in that process? And he said, I'm not there yet. There's a humility to him.
Self-awareness.
Yes, self-awareness, humility. He's not going to change everything overnight. I hope he's C.J. Stroud this year, but I'm with you. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on him. And it goes back to the other point we were making. We haven't seen them practice full yet. I haven't seen him get chased by anybody yet. I haven't seen him have to deal with a 3rd and 6 and a tie game in the 4th quarter with 3 minutes left. So I have no idea what I'm about to get. But everything I've seen so far, from his personality, his obvious skill set, his obvious athletic ceiling, and then there are some moments lately where he's making a couple of these wow throws in practice. He had one last week where, it's a faux pass rush because he knows he's not going to get hit, okay? But he slid to his left, which went right into Dorrance Armstrong, who beat, the tackle to whatever that means. He's in his face. Back foot flicks it 35 yards in the air and catches McLaurin in stride. He does that in a game, he's in the Pro Bowl. These are and those are the little things where you go,
wow.
I think he could be special, but I don't want to get ahead of myself because he doesn't even want to get ahead of himself, and I think that's what's interesting about it.
Because we remember the love fest that happened when we drafted Robert. It was Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5.
Robert loved it too.
No, he embraced it. Let's be honest.
No one loved him more than RG3.
I'm just saying, nobody loves Robert than Bob. Bob loves himself. But it was this parade. It was this, it was just so much fanfare. And with Jayden, it's just business as you. And I think the coaching staff for that. Because they not selling him as the savior. Yeah. They selling him as he's a piece of the puzzle. And when he's ready, we'll let you know.
Let's pay some bills, then we're going to talk about joint practices.
All right.
Oh, you want me to pay him first?
Yeah, you pay him first, because
All right.
I only got my payment.
I looked over, I was like, I don't think someone has this paper. Anna's here. We'll talk to Anna later on the show. She's going to get your paper. Let's talk about SeatGeek for a second,
please.
guys. You know SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. It's official now. Deal is finalized. Newest member of the Commanders family, because you know we are a family. If you haven't heard the name yet, get used to it. You will be hearing the name all season long. Doesn't matter if you're buying or selling tickets to Commanders games or any other live event in the DMV. SeatGeek is the place to do it. The new official ticketing partner of your Washington Commanders, so Commanders fans can fan.
Yes, most definitely. Do you want me to hit it now? No,
We'll hit it later.
I'm gonna wait.
Joint practice. And Bram, you were saying that more so than the game, the joint practices are the real important piece of this week and this team getting ready for this season.
I think so. I mean, I'm obviously interested in the game.
Sure.
Because Jayden's going to play, and I think that's important, for our purposes. But Aaron Rodgers is not. So how many of the other Jet starters are going to play, I don't know. So, and you know how this goes. Like, nobody wants to show anything. You know, it like everybody comes in with different priorities in these preseason games, and a lot of it feels like let's just get through it. And I think it'll be very telling for some of the younger players because I want to get a look at them on the field. But these controlled joint practices where the starters are going to compete with one another, that to me, I'm heading up to New York to go to it. I'm very interested in seeing that live. This was like last summer. I felt like the summer for Rivera and that group was that Ravens joint practice. And I feel like similarly over the next week with the Jets and that with the Dolphins, I think this team's going to find out where it is because while we're optimistic, I do think there are a lot of unknowns. And until you get tested, and those are playoff caliber teams, and then you find out.
Do y'all remember this time last year and everybody was picking the Texans to win like 2 games and be back in the like football is such a reality show. You don't know until the reality kicks in. You never know who's going to be what until we get there. And I think the one thing that scares people about this team is a lot of unknown.
Yeah.
The unknown about how's Dan Quinn going to run the team. The unknown is, what their offense going to look like? Is it going to be a pass-happy offense? Nobody knows. What's the defense going to look like? What with like the unknown scares people. Now, what is going to be known is when we go through these practices with the Jets and with the Dolphins is I can compare because I know what those teams are. Mm-hmm. The Jets are a playoff team. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to say that. The Jets are a playoff team. Is Aaron Rodgers your quarterback? You're a playoff team. The Miami Dolphins, a playoff team. We're going to measure ourselves against 2 playoff teams in intimate setting. When I mean intimate, nobody's looking. That allows the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator to run stuff that they wouldn't usually run.
I started to say we won't see that in the preseason.
No, you will not see it in the preseason game. What you'll see in the preseason game, cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, save yourself. That's what it's going to be. But in these joint practices,
save yourself.
Yeah, no. Hey, y'all don't look at it like that. As a player, we do. Like when we go to preseason game, we're like, I need to save myself. I need to cover because they're not going to do anything special to give me an edge. So now it's player against player, vanilla against vanilla. They just want to see how you play in a game situation. That's why I love joint practice. I got more out of joint practices than I did out of anything we ever did. Like I loved joint practice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting week. Really interesting couple of weeks. I do think it's interesting that they haven't ramped up yet, and it's going to happen in real time against another opponent. And, I think I really am interested in seeing Jayden take his first real snaps at real speed with a real rush coming at him.
Sure. They're going to throw him out there. And this is why I think y'all say it ain't been full speed at practice. I think it has. I think they practice at such a high tempo of what they do that taking it to that next level is fine because the next level is just physicality. Yes. Like they're not missing anything else from practice. Everything else is high tempo. Like I was talking to Sam Cowles, he was like, man, the first time we rest is let them on let them. They're because every time they do it individuals, it's not one person going.
Yeah.
I remember sitting back, watching one person go. Before you know it, it's 20 minutes. I ain't had a rep. No, they do it exponentially. They make sure nobody's standing still. And I think because of that, when it's time to ramp up and get physical, I think they'll be perfect.
I think it's such a surprising answer when you talk about joint practices meaning more, but I get it, right? Because you don't want stuff on tape in the preseason. And also, did you get more out of joint practices because it really is more of a game situation as far as the game plans being implemented? It feels like more of a game because it's the preseason, but the joint practices are where you get more of the nuance.
And the nuance and the fact that, all right, if I have been checking Terry since OTAs, I got a bead on Terry. He's my teammate. Like, no matter what we do at practice, I have information on you. Well, when I got to play Wilson for the Jets, I don't got that information on you. This is a mano-a-mano. This is real. Like, this is real time. Like, I can beat up on my teammates all I want and understand their differences, their speed and all this. But when I'm going against the Jets, this is fair. This is football, and this is fast. All right, this is us against y'all. Even on 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s, don't matter what we doing. 7-on-7, 11-on-11. This is us against y'all, and every rep means something. Like sometimes practice is just another rep, but when we're going against other people and other teams, every rep counts.
Yeah, like throughout this summer, like I expect the two most competitive spots to be tackle, and corner. And I think we know who's going to make the team at corner, but who's going to get primary playing time and who's going to kind of emerge as, quote unquote starters. And I know Joe Witt doesn't want to talk about that. And the offensive line has been unbelievably fluid. They've done musical chairs throughout, like with the exception of Biotish at center and Cosme at right guard, the other three positions, we've seen people just kind of alternate in and out. And the way it lands, I'm not sure. I'm not sure they're sure at this point. I thought the same thing would happen at corner. It hasn't. Most of the reps have gone to St. Juice, Forbes, and then Michael Davis. Those are the three rotating outside corners, but St. Juice and Forbes are the two that get out there early. Well, over the next week, we're going to see Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. And I wonder what that's going to look like for the coaches when they get out of those two practices against high-level, Hall of Fame caliber receivers and quarterbacks. And we're going to see where they are and if that shifts anybody's mindset, or if it, and this would be the best outcome, solidifies the people that they have out there as, yes, we have our guys here.
Well, here go the fun thing about it. Quinn loves tall corners, so they tell me I had a chance to play for him. All right? You think about his past with Charles Woodson and Richard Sherman and all these guys, so St. Juice and Forbes fits his makeup. I want to see how the St. Juice thing goes because I know Quinn and I know Witt when it comes to getting the ball back. They like guys.
They want guys who catch the ball.
And that ain't been St. Juice's strength. So if I'm watching anybody in any situation, he's more of a nullifier. He stays between the ball and the wide receivers, a lot of breakups, not a lot of picks. I want to see as the year go on, how does that grow with them?
This may make sense to you too. Michael Davis spoke to the media, right? He's a veteran. He's a good player. He's a veteran. And I asked him, like, why did you come here? And he said, I'm at the point in my career where I wanted someone to help me get my game to a different level.
Thank you.
I looked at these coaches. I've seen what they've done with other players, and I felt like they could do it. And he said, all they've done to me so far is try to make me uncomfortable. It's so that I can check, extend the range of my game, which I thought was really very telling about the coaches. That's the second player, Bobby Wagner prominently. I want to play for them. You're hearing that.
Man, when you want to play for a coach, this coach going to bring the best out of me, and he going to put me in positions to be Bland. He's going to put me in a position to be Diggs. He's going to put me in a position to be Charles Woodson, win the Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to put me in a position to be Richard Sherman. He's going to put me in a position to be great. All right, and that's the thing about it. When you got a coach like that, we run towards those coaches. We don't run away from those coaches. We run towards them, and we're willing to take less money to play for those guys.
Because an 8-interception season is a big payday on the other side.
On the other side. So guess what? If I sacrificed $5 million to get to this, and now I got 8 picks, I just made 30. All right, and I did it with this coach, and I'm not going to leave him. That's why I say you'll see a lot of defensive backs chase down this team and try to get on this team.
Well, those DBs are going to be tested certainly during joint practice because Aaron Rodgers will play. Not going to play in the preseason. They want to take care of that Achilles that he suffered last year. But what do you expect from Aaron Rodgers this season? Because it's been a full year. He's getting older. And you were saying earlier, Fred, that he's very meticulous in how he plays.
And that's, I think, what makes him great also hinder him from being even greater, if you know what I mean. his caution to throw balls in the wind, because he's one of those guys that I can always tell a quarterback that's worried about their touchdown to interception ratio. He's always been high on that. So I'm wondering, after this year off, does he just come back and say, I'm just finna let it rip?
Yeah.
I'm just finna let it fly. I'm just finna enjoy playing football for these last 2 years or 3 years, how many more I got, instead of being this cautious street walker that won't jaywalk. All right, jaywalk. If no car's coming, just walk across the street, man. It's okay. Nobody's going to take you to jail. I want to see a wild, unleashed Aaron Rodgers, and I think if he's unleashed, and he just throws it up there and play football, I think the Jets are a potent team and a playoff team.
I didn't buy, actually, the trade being an enormous difference maker for them in terms of winning a Super Bowl when it happened. Partially because having followed his career, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion, but the Commanders had played him the last couple of years in Green Bay before he was traded. And obviously things had kind of gone sideways in the relationship with the team. So I don't like discount the fact that he's going to get reinvigorated going somewhere else, and he might be himself. But if you really watch the last couple of years in Green Bay, he was a very different player.
Yeah.
He was not as risky with his body. He was willing to just take sacks if eat a play. Like, he wasn't being as mobile. He was being more careful, really, with the, like, to your point, really careful.
Yeah.
He's a really great player, but he wasn't the same player, and he's aging. And then he goes there to a new team that hadn't won anything before. So I wasn't totally buying it. And then what happened was really unfortunate, obviously.
Yep.
Now he's a year older. Now he's coming off a very serious injury. I think, to me, I'm in wait and see mode with him.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to, because all the evidence was he was an aging player who was playing the game very differently. Now he's off a very, very serious injury.
Yep.
I wish him the best, and I hope he does really well. But I'm going to believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. I think if they're going anywhere, it's because they have a top 5 defense and not necessarily because he takes them over the top. But I agree that he is far better than anything they had and still do have. But I believe it's going to end up being their defense that will be.
I think that's a
difference
good
for
point,
them.
because when he first signed with the Jets, now he talks about a lot of things, but push all of those non-football things aside.
Yeah.
When he first signed with the Jets before that Achilles injury, he said, "I don't know how long I'll play."
Yeah.
And Tom Brady played for a long time, but after that injury, he tends to seem like a guy who maybe is feeling his age a little bit more, because he said just a couple weeks ago, maybe this is the final year. I don't know. So he's gone from, I don't know when the end of my career will be, to maybe it's a season.
I'll tell you, like, early in his career, he's the closest thing to Mahomes. The way he was able to, his instincts would take over. The throws he could make that were kind of otherworldly. He could do it on the run. He would make these incredible decisions, really, and then unbelievable accuracy. He's not that player anymore. He really hasn't been. I will buy into going to a new place because the relationship soured in Green Bay would reinvigorate him, and you'll see greatness pop up again. But now, off of this injury, if he's going to actually be the guy that he was, I actually think you're going to see someone who's just more of a caretaker with the ball and lets the defense win and hand it off to Breece Hall when he has to. Like, I don't know that he's going to come in there and be this otherworldly difference-making Mahomes-Allen quarterback, but he may not have to be on that team because their defense is really legitimately great.
He's better than Zach Wilson. We know that.
100%.
All right. But can they be the Denver Bronco team with Peyton Manning?
Yes.
All right. Peyton was not Peyton. All right. They needed Peyton to be a caretaker. All right. Can he, you just said it, hand the ball to Breece Hall. The running game is going to be there. They just fortified the offensive line. Terrence Smith, and drafted Fashanu. Like, they fortified that offensive line. I look at them as a very dangerous team, because the one thing we know, he might not be as much of the winner as he is, but we know he ain't no damn loser.
Correct.
Right? He won't lose you a game. Not by mentality, not by talent. So therefore, to me, makes them a dangerous team, because I had to ask myself, if I had to pick between the Dolphins and the Jets right now, playoff game, who would I choose? And I love Tua. I don't trust Tua. I trust Aaron. All right? I trust Aaron in a playoff position.
Do you, even after last year?
Huh?
Even after last year?
Well, he got a year off. All right? And we talking about a quarterback and an Achilles. That don't really bother me. If he was a cornerback, now I'm like, okay, it's going to take him to mid-year for him to find his form, or maybe next year he'll find his form back. But it's a quarterback and an Achilles, and it ain't like he was Lamar Jackson. So he don't depend on his feet that much. Fortify the offensive line, give him some weapons. I think they got a chance.
It's a really, that division, New England's a total rebuild all of a sudden,
awful.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not going to compete with these other three teams. Buffalo has decided to turn a page on their roster.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of change here. Now, they'll be extremely competitive because Allen's outstanding. But who's their receiving core now? And what's their defense look like? There's been a lot of attrition to their roster. They're resetting for what will be a second round for Allen's career. And that reads to me like 8, 9, 10 wins. Allen's good enough to get them there, but the roster isn't the same. So it's the Jets and the Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
And the Dolphins, oddly, allowed a lot of talent on their defense to walk. And I don't know. I still buy, and maybe I'm wrong, that defense wins championships. So
Yeah,
if
it does.
I had to pick something,
Yeah.
it's the Jets' defense of everything in that division I trust. The only issue is they haven't won jack nothing in forever. And sometimes when the pressure ramps up on you and you haven't been in that position, this is where Rodgers is going to have to pull RELAX2 and get everybody to chill out.
Yeah.
Because if they're in December and heading towards a Super Bowl and New York's going berserk because they've been waiting forever for this to happen, he's going to have to calm a locker room that has never been in this position before.
Well, and it was just last week where at training camp, he was angry at the entire team. He's like, we're playing sloppy. Like, what are we doing here? So maybe that's the one thing that can push them past that losing culture because like you were saying, it's been forever. I think they have the longest, they're tied with the Buffalo Sabres for the longest playoff-less drought in North American major sports. So it's been a long time for the Jets. And sometimes, you know how that is, Fred?
Yeah.
Like you can have a winning culture take hold. You can have a losing culture take hold.
They still won like 7 or 8 games last year with the worst offense in the league.
Yes.
Like
How's that even possible?
How's that possible?
Yeah.
Because they have a defense that is so good. And think about the division they were in, and they still won those games against high-powered offenses like Buffalo, Miami. They shouldn't be able to keep up when Zach Wilson was playing, and they clearly had no plan, zero contingency plan for Rodgers getting hurt.
Yeah.
How are they going to handle it? They couldn't, and they were right there anyway, playing for playoff positioning in December. They should be there. But it's not going to be because Rodgers puts up all-world numbers, actually. I think it's going to be a run game, defense, caretaker with the ball. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes. And he'll make his few Aaron Rodgers moments, but I don't think you're going to be seeing week-to-week crazy numbers. I actually think he's going to be 17 for 22 with, 200 yards passing, a touchdown or two. Breece Hall has 100 yards rushing, and their defense is one of the best scoring defenses in the league, and that's their path.
Reminds me of most of my Washington teams. Great defense, not good offense. It happens.
Yeah.
It's part of it. As long as that defense feel like they can go out there and win games like we felt, you got a chance.
It's going to be funny, too, though, because the New York media and the national media is funny. If they're not scoring a lot, they're going to criticize, even if they're winning.
No, they're going to
criticize them
Yeah.
and say, well, what's wrong with you guys when they win 24-20?
Yes.
They're going to be like, well, what's wrong with you guys? Or they win 20-14. Like, well, why can't you score anymore? And they're like, they're going to have to pull, we're winning.
And that's all that
Stop
matters.
complaining
Yes.
about it.
Yep.
Right.
Don't worry about how I'm winning, long as we're winning.
Call us on the house phone. It's 703-726-7419, 703-726-7419. Do not be fooled by the fact that the IT guy, what's the IT guy's name? Do we know him?
Isaac.
I did update. I updated our voicemail recording.
Oh, you on the voicemail now?
No.
Oh, all right.
You guys are.
Oh, it's us?
all right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's us. Well, it was a good run for Isaac.
Yeah,
good run for him.
Great run.
Isaac and IT. Everybody has an Isaac
He'll
and
tell
IT.
that story years. To brag or anything, but for about 4 weeks, I was I was the guy leaving the voicemail and get loud, just so you know.
It happens,
Let's
man.
pay some bills.
Hey, you got right. Get Loud Podcast is brought to you by Bet365, the official sporting betting partner of the Washington Commanders. Bet on a range of NFL markets with the Bet365 app. Craft your own personalized bet slip with parlays. Access thousands of games with live streaming. Place your bet before the match or during the game. It's really up to you. Download the Bet365 app today and join 80 million members. Yes, I said it. 80 million members worldwide. Age 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Virginia. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. NWAA. We don't travel to escape life. We travel so life don't escape us. We dream of any place in the world, and in a blink of an eye, we're there. That's the wonder of flight. All you have to do is decide where to. Dulles International Airport. Let your imagination soar. Book your adventure today at flydulles.com/nonstop.
Chef's kiss. So here we go. This is when Anna makes her appearance. Anna is like the sneaky star of this pod.
Yeah, she is.
In the
most
comments,
definitely.
more Anna, more Anna.
Her lemon
Okay.
cake stinks, but yeah.
Can I say something about Anna?
Sure.
When I walked in here, Anna didn't know who I was,
No,
which I
that
found
isn't
really
right.
odd.
Right. Bram, I know you.
Barely. You were tangentially.
Yeah, she was like-
I was like the weird cousin
She
who
goes-
shows up at Thanksgiving and you're not quite sure who my parents are.
Bram, is that you?
Yeah.
You walked in, she goes, "Hey, Brad."
Yeah. Yeah.
I did
She's
not.
like, you're going to call the game, right? And I'm like, yeah.
I just wanted to be sure I had
All right.
the title correct.
Got it.
You got it.
I just, specifics, all the things.
Specifics.
Right.
It's all about the journey, Anna.
Yeah.
Yes, all about the journey, not the destination. And we're all here.
Voicemails time.
Anyways.
So we take your voicemails every week, 703-726-7419. And it's going to play a couple. We're going to react. And it's yours.
Hopefully they're loud enough. Okay.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Long time Washington Commanders fan. All I gotta say is, hey, I had some questions about Brandon Coleman. I noticed he's been spending some time over there, and usually they rotate the linemen, but he's been spending a lot of time over there at left tackle. I'm just hoping we found one. Another thing is, a name I keep hearing is the guy that we picked up from San Francisco off of waivers a few years ago. His name is Castro Fields. I was wanting to know if my corners, Spring and Fred, knew anything about it. Knew anything about him. Thank you. Bye.
Castro Fields. Yes, he's been out there, and he's actually been on the field. I like him. Long guy, instinctive, can make plays. I haven't seen him in a lot of game situation, so I can't really say where he fits in with this new staff. And that's the fun thing about this new staff. We don't know who they like anybody besides the guys they brought in. But other than that, I think Fields has a great chance of making this roster. And speaking on Brandon Coleman, I was high on Brandon Coleman coming out. His athletic profile, and I know, do not get on me when I say this, but his athletic profile is very similar. Height, weight, speed, strength, everything to Trent Williams. He's not Trent, okay? His
Send
profile.
your voicemails, too.
Yeah. His profile is very similar, and he has a mean streak. The one thing I love about the only happy offensive lineman that was actually good that I enjoyed was Chris Samuels.
Okay.
Like Chris was very happy. Like Chris would pancake
He's very
you.
gregarious, yeah.
Yeah. He'll pancake you and be like, "In the name of the Lord." Like, he one of those guys. But I usually like my offensive linemen to be like brawlers, and that's what Coleman is.
I'm very impressed by Coleman so far. He's obviously impressed the coaches. They've given him a lot of run with the first team, whatever that means at this point, at left tackle. Let me tell you something. If they have a starting left tackle out of a third-round pick at that position, because that was not the plan, like they were going to try to get back into the draft or they were going to try to get somebody, if that actually works out, that is going to be one of the greatest outcomes this front office has. That might be the hit of all hits if that works out that way. So we'll have to see. And on Castro Fields, you just got to do the numbers here. And I've seen him out there, and he looks good.
Yeah.
But Forbes, St. Juice, Davis, San Ristil,
Yep.
Igbenogany.
Yeah.
That's 5, okay?
Yeah.
That's so you have a hard time making the team.
Igbenogany is not etched in stone. He's not etched in stone.
Right now, he looks like the slot backup.
Yeah.
Right now.
All right,
Yes.
all right. Most definitely. Don't forget that Quan Martin actually plays nickel also. So,
Right.
so like it's this thing with the safeties. Like we said, when we sit here talking and a guy like Defoe has to wonder, is he gonna make this roster? That says it all to me. That like good teams have to cut good players.
Yes.
We are in a good spot right now.
Yes. And to your point, you know you have a team going somewhere if they have to make cuts because there's just not room for everybody, but they all are worthy of spots.
Yeah.
That's a good space to be in.
And we can bet this too. When we cut some of these good players, they're gonna get picked up.
no
instantly.
question.
Like they won't be available for our practice squad.
Well, we talked to Dan Quinn a couple weeks ago, and he said that's where the strength of this team is.
Yeah.
Like a lot of teams will be top heavy,
Yeah.
but this roster, there's so many good players right there in the
In the
middle.
middle.
We're going to have to make some really tough
Yeah,
decisions.
yeah, and that's what you want. You want a tough decision to be
Yeah.
made.
Time to keep the journey going. Voicemail number 2, Anna. The pressure.
Yeah, this is Zion Charity, the ultimate Washington Commander fan calling in. I feel like this year is going to be our year to shock the entire world. We got a head coach that knows what he's doing.
We got ownership and got leadership that knows what they're doing up top. We got a quarterback that knows how to win and knows how to play the position the right way. All we got to do is keep them healthy, and we're going to go to the Super Bowl. I got a feeling we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Within the next 2 years, we're going to be in the Super Bowl. Watch.
I love the energy. I love the thoughtfulness. I understand the fandom. But the definition for fans is a fanatic, somebody that thinks outside of the box. And for every fan base, all 32 teams right now got a chance to win the Super Bowl. So I'm not mad that he feels that way. I'm just more human, and I'm more feet on the ground. Have a rookie quarterback ever won the Super Bowl? Ben Roethlisberger, maybe?
A Super Bowl? I don't think so.
Wasn't Ben in his second year, maybe?
Yeah, like,
I don't remember.
It's just, but he
Brady
did
was only in his second or third year.
Yeah.
And he didn't even start.
Yeah, he didn't start. So
And also, they had great teams.
yeah, so it's one of those things where I'm with you, my friend, but I am a realist, and I understand you got to get to like the championship game and lose before you like really a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Get to like the second round of the playoffs. Yes, we can surprise some people. Can some people be better than we thought? Can Jayden Daniels be better than we thought, a better pro than we thought? Yes, that changes everything. The Cowboys, arrow pointed down. The Giants trying to get up. It's set up, and we do know this. Let's be truthful. 4 or 5 teams that went to the playoff last year are not going this year. They will be replaced with 4 teams nobody picked. Maybe we be one of those teams. Maybe not.
I think for me, like at this point, like I'm with you. I'm feet on the ground here. Like this is all new. And I mean, literally, like we've spent the last 6 months meeting, and I mean across the board in the building, new people.
Yeah.
Like top to bottom. The whole thing's new. I've never seen anything like this. Like the whole building's new. One side of the building, other side of the building, new front office, new head coaches, 30 to 35 different players.
Yes.
Okay. It's a very, very different thing. And when you do that in a highly coordinated sport, it's baked in there's going to be ups and downs.
Yes, it
so
is.
the idea that they're going to like go 17-0 is nuts. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just see where we are. In the end, though, if Jayden Daniels is what we think he is, and he's kind of heading in this direction, CJ Stroud light. Okay, whatever we see here, we see the baseline of the roster, the buy-in, all the enthusiasm's coming back. They've answered some questions that we have, right?
Yep.
Like Forbes is a really viable, very good corner.
Yep.
They might have an answer at left tackle that they don't have to address either in the draft or free agency. Daniels' arrow really pointing up. Then I think we're heading in the right direction to start talking about year 2, year 3, where things go. And then ultimately, I do hope that we get to say this next year, and this is also, you know, optimism and hope for Daniels because of what we've seen so far. I hope we're saying next year or the year after we have the best quarterback in the division because I see a track to that actually happening.
Yeah, and the funny part about it, I had to ask myself, who does Daniels remind me of? Like, I just put it in my head, and I just started going through quarterbacks of the past, quarterback of the day, and I stopped on Randall Cunningham.
Really?
Yeah.
It's an interesting
Because as much as we think about Randall using his feet,
He was
it was
pass
his
first.
arm.
Yes.
He was a pass
Yeah.
first
That's right.
quarterback with a kind of elongated motion of throwing the ball.
He threw a football like a baseball.
I've been saying, but the deep ball was some of the prettiest balls you have ever saw. So when I asked myself, like, who does this kid remind me of? And it's Randall Cunningham. Any comparisons from you guys?
I will say when it comes to the Super Bowl, I'm like you guys, where it's like buying a stock when it's low, right?
Yeah.
It never goes up in a straight line, but what you want is that long-term growth. And now when you look at this franchise, you're talking about the adults being in the building.
Yeah.
You're talking about drafting well.
Yeah.
You're talking about bringing in solid free agent talent, not overspending. You're talking about possibly a franchise quarterback. So I expect to see improvement this season. And then long-term, do I think if things go as planned, this can be a Super Bowl contender?
Yeah.
No doubt. I just don't think it's going to be this year.
I mean, the high-end comp for me, and this makes me old, but like the high-end comp for me is a young John Elway.
All right.
And he's really a pass
Passer.
first, but he's an elite athlete with incredible instincts.
Yeah.
And who can, once he's out in the open field, forget it. And
Yeah.
that's what Elway was
Yeah.
early in his career. If we have that, we're in incredible shape. We'll have very different conversations next year about where this team
Yeah,
is.
I'm gonna
But
say
that's the ceiling comp that I am aspiring and hoping that he'll end up being.
All right, nice.
Time now. I'm going to make sure I get this right, Anna. This is your idea. The Wheel of Washington Trivia. That's quite fit. Oh, yeah. She's going to select
Theme
the
music.
question
Yep.
and how many points each question is worth. And if you get a question wrong, The other person gets to answer it.
Do, 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 do.
Thank you. It's a tradition now. We got Fred to sing it. All right. So I have a spinner here. Here. Disorganized.
Here she is. Oh, she's had all show. Now she's ready. Oh, she's going to spin the wheel
yeah.
right here. Here it is.
That's bad. Everything's so digital now. We can't even spin our own wheel
I
no
couldn't
more.
find the real one, so.
Okay, the wheel is spinning.
See, that's why I don't understand why people go to the casino.
Wheel is glitchy.
Play the slot machine. It's digital. It's digital. All right.
All right, for 1 point,
Yeah.
your question is.
Is this directed to one of us individually?
Can all of us just
wait,
blurt
hold
it out?
on.
Or is it
Well,
is it
actually, you know
push
what?
the button,
We
jump
can-
in as fast as possible?
We can. The thing is,
Yeah.
there was going to be something that the loser had to do.
Oh, eat those jelly beans.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not eating any more of those.
So,
I mean, this is essentially between Bram and Smoot, right?
No, it's you in here.
All right, we're gonna. I'll just
He already
go
owes
right
me a
to
giant
left.
ribeye.
All right. For 1 point, Fred,
Yeah.
who was the last player who's played for Washington to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Darryl Green.
Wrong.
It wasn't Darryl.
No. All right, Bram,
Last to go into the Hall of Fame?
and has played for Washington, not for the whole career.
Oh, see.
Oh,
You see what she
God.
just did to me?
Let's see.
You see what she just did to me?
Oh, man. Was it anybody in this class? I don't think it was anybody in this class that had any time here.
No, see, that wasn't right.
Yeah, this doesn't count. Try again.
Yeah, like that wasn't right.
So they could have spent a season here and still got inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Yes. Also, I used like an AI website for this.
Oh,
So
I don't trust
so
that.
that's
Oh,
not
my
real.
God.
That's
What's
the
the
first.
answer?
What's this?
We're gonna call
Champ Bailey.
Champ Bailey.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. All right, so that counts.
That's, I believe.
I was
drafted
thinking like
18.
career Redskin commander. Yeah.
Yeah,
That counts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
All
Well,
right.
you know
All
what?
right.
I got called out in both of those Hall of Fame ceremonies. Darryl said, Fred.
Call into the
Champ said
voicemail.
Fred. So you know what?
I know.
Yeah.
Let's debunk.
We
this.
got to
All
get
right.
London
All right, here we
Fletcher
go.
in the Hall
Here
of
we go.
Fame.
All right,
Be
next
Mitch.
one,
Okay.
please.
All right. Sorry, there should
The
be
jank
sound.
wheel.
Why don't I trust the computer?
Glitchy. Everything
glitchy
AI
wheel.
is not
Am I
working.
my granddaddy now?
Another for a point.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Washington has gone to how many playoffs since the 1991 Super Bowl?
How many playoff seasons?
3.
4.
I'm going to go 4.
7.
7?
Since the 90s?
Are we counting wild card in this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, 7.
Name the years.
Oh wait, hold on. Give me a second. I wrote this in my notebook.
You are incorrect.
Yes.
I would blame AI for this. I'm not.
See, the youth.
This is not the Washington Huskies.
I promise if you look at Wikipedia.
Okay.
Hey, listen.
Just go to Wikipedia.
The
Guys,
youth.
this is a fail.
I told y'all when I had these talks
All
with
right,
my kids.
So
it's
all right,
very
since-
similar to
wait,
this.
Since what year did you say that was?
90.
1991.
Okay.
Oh,
so they
7.
went in 92,
Yep.
right? And they lost in the playoffs.
Yep.
They didn't go back until like 99.
9.
Right? 2.
Then we went
they
2005.
twice with Joe Gibbs.
2005,
That's 4.
2007.
And then, oh, wait a minute. No. RG3.
RG3.
Year, 5. And then there was a Kirk Cousins year, 6.
Yep. And
6.
that's it.
And then in 2020.
2027. It is 7.
Oh,
Taylor
wow.
Heineke died
Because
for the end zone.
we got
Right.
in with a losing record.
You
7.
guys are all doubting.
You're
this
right.
team.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're right, Anna.
Once again,
We
Anna.
apologize. I get a point for
Thank
naming
you.
all
Anna
the years.
AI.
That was amazing.
I get 3 points for naming
I was
the
sitting here
years.
going, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right. So this next question, okay, is for however many points,
1.
but
Are we supposed to hear that wheel?
We
you
not.
are. There's a lot going wrong here. The volume's completely up. 2 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is.
I think you could just ararbitrarily pick the
I'm
points
gonna say
that
just
you
pick
want.
points.
Okay. At this point, y'all are doing so bad. Okay. In 2005, Santana Moss set
Jesus.
Washington's record for most receiving yards in a single season. How many yards was it?
Exact?
Oh, that's just
The
that's
exact
just,
yardage,
Come
Anna?
on, man.
Exact.
Like
What's your best?
How many
Fred?
I know what
sweatbands
I'm
did
saying
Pierre
is- You don't
know
Garcon
your
win
best
during?
piece.
these are questions only that can be answered by AI system. Like, come
Okay,
on,
hold
you
on.
want me to say 1,513 yards?
Fred, I was going to say within 100, and you would be correct.
Thank you.
So don't complain.
I'm gonna
Oh.
go under. I go under.
That is correct.
That's right. I win. I win.
Oh no. Fred.
So how many yards was it?
Bram just 1,483.
Thank you. I was literally 30 yards off.
I'm sorry. I feel like Bram might have just stole
I did.
your 2 points. So 2 points.
How
Bram,
did he- 'cause he
0
said
points
under?
Fred.
That's right.
Yep. All right.
No, that's not right,
right.
Anna.
It is right.
Anna, this wheel of
I
Washington.
just hope you know this is what you get for saying that everybody said my lemon cake was bad when I left the room.
All right,
Yeah,
first-
let's end with this.
Retaliation.
Who would make the better lemon cake? Because you were telling me right before the show you make a great lemon cake. Anna was saying her whole family, that even Santana was saying she makes
Well,
the
here's the
best
thing
lemon
about
cake.
it. See, I have this cookbook that's been handed down from generation to generation, the Smoot family. It's the
Okay.
book of Smoot.
Okay.
And in the book of Smoot, on page 73, it's lemon cake. I went in there and made
Don't read pages 1 through 72. You don't want to know what that
yeah,
is.
the book of Smoot. And I made this lemon cake. See, once I got challenged by such youthful people, because youthful people can't cook, all right? She was like, you know what? I have my grandma's
Prove that
recipe
wrong.
to my lemon cake. I want to challenge you. She challenges me. We do a taste test on one of the shows. My guy, Logan Paulson, can't taste. His tongue doesn't work. And we let him
The excuses.
we let him be the judge of who cake tastes the best. I was like, you can't do that. That's like, you can't do that. And she won with a man that can't taste. So I'm not even mad.
And Caroline. And
Caroline was already on your team
voted
before
for
it
you.
started.
No, I told her to be honest. I wanted to win fair and square. I wanted this to be a legitimate win.
It was not legit.
Okay, so everybody was trying to be nice, apparently.
No,
Okay,
no.
moving
What
on.
they said
We'll
when you
get
left
back
out
to this.
was,
We'll
we're
get
not
back
going to
to
hurt Anna's feelings. We're going to look out for her. Fred, are you okay with it? And I said, yes, I am.
He said your lemon cake was like being on the hot ones. Like it made you want to cry. It was like
No,
so
no, it's
sour.
amazing. Right here.
It was so
Right.
good.
You know
Yeah.
how you bite on something right here and it start
Yeah.
to tingle?
All right.
Not
Yeah.
for
You'll
Logan.
just have okay, well, 2 points, Bram. That's
Right.
Oh, my God.
All right.
See the hate that I get in
Did
this
you see
building?
the head? Bram?
Yep, Bram.
Yeah. I only want fair judgment. Okay, moving on.
I was with
This one
I
is
was
worth-
within 30 yards.
This one is worth 38 points.
Who caught the most career interceptions that has also played for Washington, like within their career?
Who has the most career interceptions?
That is-
Didn't have to play their whole career here, but has a lot of interceptions.
That has a lot of interceptions.
Okay.
Anna, these
These
questions
are
are
AI
some.
questions. They are not
Yes.
for humans.
Daryl Green.
No, Champ Bailey.
Daryl Green.
Yeah, there it
Champ
is.
got more
Point
interceptions.
for you.
Champ has more interceptions than Daryl. Champ has more interceptions than Daryl.
Well, maybe it
Which
is in
player
Washington.
who has been to Washington, D.C., but who didn't play for this franchise has the most tackles?
It's like, I don't
know,
know
Anna.
the invisible
Who has
man.
ever perceived
Like
Washington
the
D.C.
sideline.
Okay,
All
well,
right.
it's Daryl Green.
Listen, these
Fred,
questions
you
and
wanna know what
answers,
number-
I'm through with AI.
Do you know what number they had you at?
In interceptions?
Yeah.
Well, I did. I was the first player in Washington history to lead the team in interceptions my first 4 years.
They had you at 15
That's pretty
with
good.
18 interceptions. Yeah, that's really
Wow.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, 20 plus interceptions. Yeah, that's pretty
Right.
good.
Well, maybe that one does. Guys, I feel like we should just give up on this trivia. And maybe I need to
I
eat
want
the
one
jelly
more.
beans because-
One more
We'll do
extremely
one more.
vague
We'll do
question.
one.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Are you ready? Well, okay. Wait, this one's really
Who
good.
is the coach that never lost?
You guys. This one, it just gets worse. by
Coach
the minute,
Gibbs.
okay? I thought these were really good last night. I must
They're
have been
not.
hyped. Okay. Why does Jayden Daniels wear number 5?
Because of Devin McNabb.
How did you know that?
I know everything.
Nailed it.
Wow.
Come on, I came within
Shit,
30
yeah.
yards of Santana's yard.
That's true.
Hold on. Okay. Are you ready?
Anna wants to
is a
end
different
on you
question?
missing one, is what she
No,
wants.
she hates when I get them all right.
She's like, this is the last one.
Which
Nope,
fullback
this is the last
never
one.
lost on
Okay.
Monday night in Buffalo and only played in Kansas City, Dallas, Miami, and Houston. The Oilers. Right, yeah.
Of those who participated in the combine, who in Washington's 2024 draft class ran the fastest 40?
Mike Sanders still. He didn't run, so it got to be McCaffrey.
Yeah. Okay, but you didn't give Bram his turn.
I didn't get my turn.
All right.
Brown was already stoked. Once you brought up the
I'm
combine,
gonna
he was like, oh my
I'm
God.
going to deduct the 2 points you got last round.
I heard your lemon cake's like that St. Elmo shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
Get you.
Yeah, you choke on it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay. All right, well,
That's it?
Well, I had other questions.
I don't
You
know
did?
if I really want to play Wheels of Washington again. I don't think it's made for
If
human
we do,
beings.
we got to get a real wheel.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
at least a real wheel.
Real wheel, real sads, real everything.
It's just
Well,
terrible. This
okay.
was not good.
I don't know if this is worth eating the jelly beans over.
You need to eat the jelly beans.
You You need know what? to eat
You
jelly
might-
beans.
you might need a jelly bean
Your
for these
questions
trivia
were
questions.
not
Come sit over
good.
here and eat that entire bag of
you
jelly
need to eat
beans.
at least 3 jelly beans.
And
right
I
now.
hope you get the fart one.
No, I ate that one last time and
No,
it
no,
didn't
no.
go well for me.
I will eat one jelly bean.
Yes, you will.
yeah.
You gotta eat
Yeah,
2.
let's
You
go,
gotta
let's
eat
go.
2, Anna.
I feel like this is a waste to open the whole bat.
No, it's
No.
not.
No,
Nobody's
I want to
gonna eat
pour.
those.
Do I need to come over there and pour it? Because I don't need you
no,
picking.
No. I've dumped the random one in there.
Come
Okay,
on, it gotta be
this
random.
is messed up. Okay, no.
My God, it stinks.
This is horrible. Okay, stop. I was
There
only
you go.
gonna
There
do
you go.
one.
Now,
Okay.
give me the blue one because I know what that is. Flow ride.
Okay. I'm only.
I like it. Isn't it
No,
toothpaste?
don't put them on the table. Eat them.
Fine. I'm gonna eat one. I will eat
Eat the
one.
brown.
I think it's toothpaste you call
Guys,
it
I'm
fluoride.
gonna have to,
Yeah, eat the brown
I'm
one.
gonna have to like eat it over a piece.
I have a question for you all. How long is this show?
Oh, it's every bit of like an hour and a half.
This is pretty long. Sorry. Do you have somewhere to be, Bram?
No.
Okay.
No.
Not now.
Maybe a bar's missed
I had to
us.
cancel.
Guys, I'm like not ready to like puke in the studio. Okay.
Eat that one.
All right, what do we got?
What we got? Chew it, Anna.
Chew it.
What is it?
How was it?
I got the berry one.
Oh,
boo.
so
okay,
weak.
tastes like
All right.
bubblegum. Okay, should I
Eat the
one?
brown one. Nothing that's brown is good.
Truth.
Okay.
That's
This
a truth.
next
Eat the
one-
brown one. No, the one on the ground
the
over there.
You want me to eat dead fish?
Yes, I want you to
Yeah,
eat dead
dead
fish.
Dead fish.
Eat it.
Like,
Eat
eat
it.
Oh my gosh, it was fruit flavored again.
Winner.
All right, next one.
I'm through with it.
All right.
You still spit it out?
Yeah, I don't really like jelly beans. Okay. Last one.
Millennials.
Wait, guys, I'm so sorry.
That
Logan
used to be.
does,
That
but his
used
tongue
to.
doesn't work.
That used to be
This
the
one?
candy of our decade when we walked
Okay.
in our grandma's house and she just had a bowl.
Last one
Sitting right there.
is rotten egg.
Ooh.
All right, right neck. Go for it. Oh, yes.
Got him.
Yes. You
I can't tell. I really can't tell. That kind of actually, I don't think that was raw. I think that was buttered popcorn, which is still kind of gross. But
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Butter
still.
popcorn is good. I was just at the movie watching Deadpool.
Well, I didn't know this was going to end with Anna eating jelly beans and spitting them out right in front of
Yeah.
us. But here we are. It's been a journey, as usual. Bram Weinstein,
Yep.
the official voice of the Washington Commanders, here on this weekend as the Commanders take on the Jets in Meadowlands. That's Fred Smoot. I'm Michael Jenkins. Thanks for being with us. Have a great week.
Longest show of all time.